Southern Vangard Radio, this is DJ John Doe, and to the left of me is my man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cappuccino Meeks.
Big Meeks.
Long weekend Meeks.
Eddie
What's up?
Cappuccino's up, man. Some motherfucking Meeks.
What's up, homie?
Not much, man. Man, this is two Sundays in a row you have come in just dressed up.
I don't have nowhere else to wear this shit, man.
So you wear it to my house. That's bad.
Yeah, I get fresh. I come over here once a week. I don't have nowhere else to wear. I'm not going to brunch. I'm not in the club no
brunch?
more. Nah.
No? Okay.
Nah.
All right, I'm sorry.
So I do.
Well, I appreciate you dressing up for me. You know me, I do not. I don't even have fucking socks on. So I got a t-shirt.
You at home. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a gentleman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you are.
I learned at an early age that you go out accordingly. So I'm out here. Cheers, man.
Cheers to you.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. It ain't nothing.
On that Ezra 99 proof tonight.
Yeah,
no, 107. I think I picked the 107 back up. Yeah.
Oh, it's one of them nights.
I always got to work tomorrow. I still got to get my ass up. I don't have to get up to work and do the school routine and all that shit. So.
Yeah, 107 proof.
107.
This episode and interview session will be epic, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready.
I don't know, man. After last week's, I don't know what can top last week. If y'all didn't go back,
that shit's fucking crazy.
If you guys want to hear some funny shit, go back to episode 302. You want to talk about the most random ass episode, like damn near put you in tears, boy. I don't know what Meeks and I were on, but we were on some shit last week.
We was on some shit. Yeah. Sound like we about to be on some shit tonight.
Of course.
So buckle up.
Of course. But other than that, weekend going okay, man?
Yeah, I just, I'm just trying to chill all the way the fuck out. I can't say that I'm being successful.
You're not right, yeah.
But I got one more day to get it in, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, the weather's holding up.
Yeah, the weather is great.
Yeah, weather's killer right now.
The weather is great.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Well, let's get into it. This is Southern Vangard Radio. We drop twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays is a mix show. Thursdays is an interview session. We only play new excuse me. We only play new hip hop here. So all the latest and greatest brand new shit cut up and sliced up and mixed and presented in the most proper way that we know how to.
Yes.
And Meeks and I drinking generally some good bourbon and some good burrs.
Yeah, the homie got a couple of variety packs.
Yeah, we have some selection tonight.
Yeah, Victory and New
Victory
Realm.
and New Realm. Yeah. Victory. That's PA, right? I think Victory Brewing's Pennsylvania, I believe.
You could be right.
I believe it is. Yeah. And New Realm's right here in the ATL.
Right here, ATL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Last week we had. Who do we have last week, Meeks? We had, Midas the Beast was on for our interview session. We had DJ Two-Tone Jones.
Two-Tone Jones and mid-mix interview.
The mid-mix.
Yeah.
And we actually dropped an interview that was supposed to drop 2 weeks prior, DJ Bonds and DJ Breeze.
That's right.
The new Elements documentary's out now.
Yes.
Super dope. Make sure you go check that out.
Absolutely.
Meeks, we have some affiliates as well that help us get the good word around, don't we?
We do. We have atlhiphop.com, IamClassicRawRadio.net. Return of the Boom Bap, WRBB, X Squad Radio, X Squad affiliates, all those here in Atlanta. And then we venture out to the West Coast with Soul Public Radio, Cali.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's go.
So this is an interview session this week. Oh, wait, I didn't tell everybody did I tell everybody where they can go find it?
Tell them now.
All the podcast platforms, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, YouTube. We put the interviews that we do that we have video of actually go up on YouTube. Or dope if you want to catch some visuals. The mixes go up there as well. But yeah, make sure you subscribe, share, like, all that good shit. Tell somebody, and help us spread the word about the show.
No doubt.
All right. Now back to the introduction.
Yes.
This gentleman here, it's one of those things where, I mean, we're about to hit our 7th year anniversary, Meeks, in January.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You type in this gentleman's name and it comes up at least 25, 30, 40 times maybe in the playlist across the years.
Yeah.
So we've been playing his music for a long time. Actually, I don't know why we haven't interviewed him by now. It's kind of odd when just looking back at it, but sometimes it just works like that.
Well, he's a busy cat.
He's a very busy man.
Yeah, he's a busy man.
Most of the motherfuckers on stage, regularly.
You know what I'm saying? he goes for it. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And that's about all I can say about that. It wasn't any ill. Ain't no ill shit on either side.
No, not at all.
But he a busy cat, man.
And it happened organically too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The homie Cat sent us the new what was it? The new DJ Eves.
Yeah, that's right.
Eves. Joint featuring Ives featuring this gentleman.
That's right.
And Daniel Son and DJ Eclipse. And we just kind of started chatting. So anyway, without any further ado, the one and only Ren Thomas.
Ren Thomas, what's going on?
How are you guys?
We good, man. How are you?
Congratulations on 7 years. That's wild.
Yeah,
it's crazy, right?
Feel like it, man. It's coming and going. That's all I can say about it, man. But we had a good time this whole time, so we're gonna keep it up, man. Thank you. Seriously.
Good. Yeah. I tried to do a podcast that lasts about 7 episodes. So.
7 episodes. It's not easy, man. It's not easy.
Like I was saying before we started, you guys have been playing my music for years, and I very, very much appreciate that. I do a lot of features, so a lot of times I don't see where things end up, or a lot of times the features don't come out. But a lot of the features that I've done over the last few years always end up on you guys' show. So I thought it was right to send you guys the new album and get your perspective on it. And, this is my first run in 4 years of actually dropping my own music. So
okay,
yeah.
We appreciate it, Ren. We're looking forward to it. Definitely gonna get into some of the album on the mix coming up.
Right.
Yeah, 303.
Episode 303.
Yes, sir. So Ren, just kick it off, man. Tell us about the record, man. Start there. 33 is the name of the album. It's out now only on Bandcamp, I believe, right?
Yeah, so I'm doing the Bandcamp for 2 weeks, and it'll be on all the streaming platforms. Just to give, it's probably more. I want to make some money off of it before I put it up and basically give it away for free forever.
Yeah.
So get the fans to show some love and support and stuff like that. But the album's called 33. It's fully produced by NEM Nieves, formerly known as Nemesis, and me and him we go back like a long time since probably like 2006. And every project that I've ever done, any compilation album that I've ever done, he's always had a little bit of a part in it, at least a beat or two on everything. Okay. And I just think like he's a super talented cat, and he just he really wasn't getting like the looks that I believe he should be. And me and him had always kind of thrown around the idea of doing a whole project together. Then we had about like four joints in the tuck for a while, and then I basically took those and added a bunch of more records, and then we cut it down to 11 tracks. And I got features on there from RASHEED CHAPPELL, MELISSA J, who's a singer out of Jersey, Silent Night, who is a rapper that I came up with out in Jersey, and then I got the legends Pacewon and SENSEI on a joint. Yeah, I'm really, really happy about the project. Everybody that's involved in the project is from Jersey too.
Okay.
It just seemed to happen that way. And then the last piece that I needed was a singer for this one record. And I was like, let me see. And I just put up a post on Instagram, and she reached out, and she had a beautiful voice. And then she came to the studio, wrote the shit, laid it, and that was it.
That's dope.
Hey, Ren, hold on 1 second. I need to hit record on something. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Here. There we go. Cool. All right, so we're good now. Sorry about that.
No problem. Hey, Ren, what was it like pulling all the features together? Was it a struggle, or was it pretty seamless?
It was pretty seamless. I have a relationship with L and Pace. We've known each other forever, and I literally just sent them the record, and they sent me like within a couple of days both their verses back. RASHEED CHAPPELL recorded the joint in the studio with me, and then we sent it out to Silent Night. He got it back. Like I said, the girl that sings the chorus on Water to Wine, she just pulled up to the studio, came in, laid her shit. And it was very, very, very easy putting this, at least the features together.
That's dope.
And then my man Neff, who is my touring DJ as well. He's like a phenomenal mix master. He works at Time is Money Studios with Terminology and Static Selector and all those guys. So he mixed and mastered the whole project. That was a great experience too. We just sat in the studio and he made me sound way better than I think I am. You know?
That's a talented dude right there, man. We played a lot of joints off his last album too, actually, which was incredible. So
yeah, so me and him are in a group together called Lost and Found. He does all the beats. We put out an EP. I guess I'm so bad with time now because of those 2 years that are like missing in my life. So I guess it was probably 3 years ago we put out a project called Lost and Found. And he's a good dude, man. I didn't even know he was a producer. I thought he was like Static's friend. Like I would go to Static's studio and be hanging out and shit, and this dude would always be there. And like I didn't
really? Okay.
like ever really talk to him. And then one night Static was like, yo, let's go to the bar and check out my man. So we went out. And Neff was DJing. And I'm like, oh, you DJ? He's like, yeah, I make beats too. And I was like, okay, word. And he was like, give me your email. I'll send you something. And he sent me a beat. And I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, do you really do this? And he was like, yeah, that's what I do. I was like, oh, all right, cool.
Just like
I guess
that.
we'll do a project together.
No doubt.
That's dope.
That's what's up.
So it's all Jersey from a feature standpoint then on this joint. Was that on purpose or?
No, it kind of just happened that way.
Okay.
I've done projects in the past where I felt like I had too many features and I wanted to keep this more, the album is very much so about like the rise and fall of my career in passing years. Like, in 2017, I was Sway's top 10 and I won Team Backpack. And then I was on television with the VH1 show with Rick Ross and all that. And my career was like on this crazy trajectory. And then things like started to get in the way. Like my ego got out of control. I was a maniac for a really, really long time. And then so this album is kind of my introspective on all of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Ren,
like
real quick. Give me a time when your ego was on 1,000. A situation or whatever.
I'm trying to think. That's
too many to talk about.
He just thought of one. He just thought of one and pushed it to the back of his brain. That's what happened right there.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
Okay, I got you.
I guess like
it must have really been bad then.
Like being in one time I was in Magic City with Ross and Wale and Meek. And like some bouncer was like, yo, you can't go up in this section. And I was like, I like flipped out. I called him a piece of shit. And then like he saw that I was with Ross. Because this was during the filming of the TV show. Yeah. And Ross was like, yo, he's with me. And the bouncer was like, oh shit. And I was like, yeah, suck my fucking dick. And like that's the kind of time, like that's the type of time I used to be on. I'm trying to grow up. You know what I mean? I'm trying to become a better person.
Right.
But like, you know, my ego was definitely like very highly boosted during those few years when the run was like, it was great. Everything was going good, and I was selling out tours and you know, I was coming back to my hometown and selling out shows where I'm from. And, you know, it felt like everything was just going to continue to be that way. And then I kind of stopped putting in as much work, like creatively. I got a little stagnant, and then music changed. Like, I feel like during that period, right, is when like West Side Gun and all these guys came in, and like, I knew them. Like before a lot of people knew them because they were cool with Sean Price. And Sean Price was like one of my really good friends. And rest in peace to Sean.
No doubt.
And like I heard about them before they were really popping. But when they came in, all the producers kind of changed. They all started making like the down tempo shit. And I started rhyming on that kind of shit. And it just wasn't for me. And I kind of like, you know, needed to go back to like that. This project is more of what I've always wanted to do. You know what I mean? It's more boom bap hip hop shit. Yeah. It's not that down tempo. Like I enjoy a lot of that stuff, but
sure,
I'm not. I I don't talk about, moving bricks. And I feel like that's the kind of shit that sounds best over that kind of music.
Exactly.
And I tried to make some like introspective stuff over like, where it should be
real
like
grimy,
you want to hear Conway shoot somebody in the face, and I'm telling you about like this girl who broke my heart in 5th grade. You know what I mean? So it's like it didn't really work out. And then over the last 2 years, I got married, I got a crib, and a lot of those things kind of eased me back. And then I was like, yo, like I fell back. I figured out like a balance in life, and then I was able to be like, all right, let me go back after this. You know what I mean? So
that's dope.
Make another run at it.
Yo, I saw one of your wedding pics. It looked like it was a fly event, Ren.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
it was wild.
Where'd you get married, Ren? Did you go somewhere?
A place called the Venetian in New Jersey.
Okay.
All right. Dope.
The Venetian.
That's where like all the people from Jersey Shore got married. It's like
word. All right.
It's a fancy ass venue.
That shit.
But it was
official.
cool. We had a plan. Biggie give me the loot, and it was a good time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It was dope.
Nice.
That's ill, man. Well, look, I mean, it goes a long way to say you actually realize that about yourself, man, because some people are like, they're in maniac mode and they just actually end up just being on a path of just total destruction. So
yeah,
it takes a lot to realize that and admit it and come to terms with it and reset and do whatever, know? Yeah. So good for you for, getting it together.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still, I'm still a work in progress, but I had to dial back all the partying and all that shit because that shit was wild too. Like I was drinking handles of vodka every day on tour, and it was,
Yeah.
Damn.
Gets out of control. Like I wake up and I'm like, damn, we're in Michigan. I thought we were in Montana. Like we were 4 days ago. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like had to dial it back, and I forgot how much I loved creating music, because when you're like touring and stuff like that, you're not as creative. You're kind of just going through the motions, especially like I said, with the big head at the time and all that shit. And, and then a big thing, too, was I started getting a lot of money for features.
Okay.
And I did 400 features in 2 years.
Holy shit.
Damn. That's why we played so many.
That's why we played so many records. Right. Right.
Damn.
Right.
Damn.
Like you probably heard 1 million records from me and none of them are mine. You know what I mean? But that's what I realized. I realized that too. I was like, yo, I'm like spending all this time just creating for other people and like chasing a quick check. You know what I mean? Because it was like the money was good and I was having fun. And then I was like, damn, like, I don't know what I'm doing now.
Probably became easy for you to do too, right? Like you just got that muscle. It probably became easy for you to do because you're just in that motion. So like turning around 16
I
was
write
like
16 bars in 10 minutes.
Right,
so
right.
Yeah.
Like a dope story. Me and Mickey Fax one time, we have a record called The Tale of Two Renegades. And we sat in the studio and we raced each other to see who could finish first. And I think he finished in 8 minutes and I finished in 9.
Oh, okay.
And like that record's hardest on me and Neff's project, Lost and Found.
Nice.
Damn, that's dope.
Hey, Ren, were you pretty much naming your own price as far as the features was concerned?
Yeah, I mean, I had like a base price, but if I knew cats or like they sent me something I liked, but then it became like I was that guy on the internet, like, yo, hit me if you need a feature. You know what I mean? And then like, because my rent was due and like, things were a little tight. And then I'm doing like fucking $150 features for some dude in fucking South Dakota. And I don't know who he is, what his stances are on things in life. Like and then I started thinking about that. Like, say I do a song and then some crazy dude says some bullshit on the internet and then it comes back to me where they're like, oh, well, you rock with him because you did a record with him. And it's like, I don't even know, dude. He just sent me money.
Yeah.
So I dialed it back and I was like, you know what? I upped my price and then I was like, I'm sticking to it, hit my manager, and that's it.
Yeah.
Got you.
And we have to like vet the people too and like make sure that like they're not some fucking crazy conspiracy theory Nazi or some crazy wild shit. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Huh. That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
So when did you make a conscious decision to like sit down and make 33? Like, did you actually say, okay, it's time to work on, an album, or did it just happen naturally, or?
we had the record, the second track on the project called Talk of the Town. And that record was made right after I did television. I came back home after the show had aired and I was touring and stuff like that. And I came home and I did like a little viewing party and it was like my birthday. And like every single person I'd ever met in my life showed up.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit. Like all these people used to like they were mean to me when I was growing up.
Wow.
Like, yo, you think you're a rapper or something? Like I got in like thousands of fights over trying to protect my reputation back then. And now these people are like wearing my shirts to the shows. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, and then, you know, I wrote that record right after that. And it's like, I wrote part of it in LA. That's why I'm like, I'm in the hills of LA wondering how did I get here? Because last year I couldn't imagine this would be next year. You know what I mean? Because it was like, it was so crazy to me. And then we made that record back then and we had it in the tuck and I was performing it and shit too. And then Nemesis, he like went quiet for a while. I'm going to continue to call him Nemesis, even though that's not his name anymore. Just because that's like people still call me Renegade. So
right,
so he like went quiet for a while, and then he popped back up and started posting stuff on Instagram, like really dope beats. And I was like, "Yo, we still got that one record. We should do a couple more." So then we just started working on it, and I guess like probably about right around before COVID, we had basically had it finished. I went in and did like 2 more records and we cut a couple of things off, but just for cohesivity and shit. But it was definitely like right before COVID, we were like, we're going to put this out. And then things got messed up. And I was like, I don't really want to put an album out if I can't tour with it and, you know, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Hey, is Nemesis is he in Jersey too, or he's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And me and him are both 33 right now.
Oh, damn. That's
that was why so I was like, yo, how old are you, by the way? He was like, oh, I'm about to turn 33. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be 33 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, for some reason, I always remember that Jesus died at 33. And I'm a Boston Celtics fan. And, you know, I love Larry Bird. So we made Larry, I hit up to this dude Zilla and I was like, can you make Larry Bird Jesus on a pane glass window for this album cover? And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I was like, all right, cool. I got it back. And I'm like, I'm putting this out.
I'll do it.
Fuck people like it. I don't care.
I love it.
Larry Legend.
That's why it's, you know.
It's so
there's a
wow.
The intro track 33. When me and my girl were dating when we were younger, she used to always be like, yo, like, when do you think you'll stop rapping? And I would always be like, when I'm 30. I was like, when I'm 30, I'm going to do stand-up or country music or something else. I'm going to do something different, right? She was like, if you don't make millions and millions of dollars, when are you going to stop? And I always said 30. So then I'm like, my girl said, how long are you going to do this? I said, I'll stop at 30. 33 with a new album and I'm nice as ever. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's almost like a play on myself. Like, you know, I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Got you.
Damn, that's crazy, man. So, so you didn't record at what's the name of the studio that Neff and Terminal? Time is Money, right? Is that
Time is Money?
Yeah. So you didn't record there. You recorded it at the crib or at Nev's, and then you guys sent it over. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I owned my own studio called Feed the Wolves Studio. I don't know if I actually don't know if I recorded any of this there. But when COVID happened, I had bought a house, and so I built a studio in the crib, and I was like, all right, I got tired of having to like record sessions for people whose music was terrible, and I hated doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Originally, it was supposed to just be a studio for me to have, and I had a partner who was supposed to bring the business in, but then he didn't bring any business in, and I had to do all the business too to pay the bills for the studio. And
right.
That's how it ended up working.
Yeah, this fucking cover is dope.
The cover's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
I know, the cover's fucking ridiculous, dog. Yeah, you need to do some fucking posters for that bitch, man. That shit's killer.
I'm gonna do t-shirts. I got a whole bunch of shit. I really want to get it on vinyl too, because I think it'll look cool big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll be a dope album cover. Yeah, man, that's salute, man.
That's killer.
That's crazy.
It is killer.
That's crazy.
Somebody said the other day, they were like, I didn't know who that was on there. And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, I just thought you just made up some random guy. I'm like, he has 33 on his chest. What?
Man, take a close look. How could you? I mean, to be fair, Larry's nose could have been a little bit bigger, but it's not that far off though.
I thought it was pretty good.
Here's the thing though. What's great about this, Ren, is like there's actually multiple meanings behind this cover and the title.
Yeah.
Like there's actually like some density and some, you know, thoroughness to this thing, and it's not somebody just like throwing some whatever the fuck on the cover, right? Like that's my thing. I mean, you're 33, NEM NIEVES is 33. Jesus died at 33. Larry Bird. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
That's
that's killer, man.
all good.
That's killer.
Thank you.
So why'd you go the Bandcamp route first and then DSP? Just makes more business sense, or wanted to try it, or have
homie, real quick, we made $7 on Bandcamp.
We made $7.
I'm gonna cash app your cut to you.
$3.50.
I appreciate that.
Not even, Ren. Not even. Stop playing. I wish I could send him $3.50 right now, but I can't.
You're gonna send me an IOU. You cut me an IOU.
The reason why I did the Bandcamp, I mean, I guess it's a selfish reason, but I wanted to make some money off of it first.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, obviously it'll get to more people when I stream it, when I put it out through like DistroKid or whatever. But
yeah,
to like, I wanted to see who, because when somebody buys something on Bandcamp, it actually shows you their name and stuff.
Oh, everything.
So
yeah.
I wanted to see all that, see who's actually supporting, see who's not, you know, that kind of stuff too.
Well, you get a mailing list out of that too, right? I mean, you get important data from stuff like that as well. So
right,
and Ren, I feel like you're an individual that Bandcamp would work for.
Right.
Bandcamp doesn't pop off for everybody. I think it's certain individuals that are consistent and, you know,
have the fan base.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I can see that working out for you pretty good.
Yeah, and you know, you sell I don't know, 100, 200 units on Bandcamp, and you know, you make $2,000 or whatever. If you get, you know, 120 or 200 people to listen to stream your shit, you make about $3. So,
right,
you know,
right.
I wanted to at least get back what I put out for the project. You know what I mean? Plus, I also like that, you know, if somebody buys something from you, the next time you release something, it alerts them that you put something out, which is cool because, you know, you get the fans to keep coming back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The Bandcamp shit is amazing to me, man. Like, it's the direct-to-fan shit with Bandcamp is like, it's really the best shit out. It really is. There's really no beating it. It's funny how there's no other platform. There's no other platform that's come along that is like, you'd think that there would have by now, but there's really not.
Yeah, I mean, they've come and go. I say that Bandcamp has pretty much stood the test of time, but
yeah.
I mean, their format and their formula is it's tough to compete with. I'll say that.
Sure.
Yeah. The thing you could also like set up like, you know, say you see that like 70 people bought it and you know they all live in Atlanta. And you could be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go do a show in Atlanta because I know that I'm gonna get at least 70 people to come out to the show. You know what I mean? So or with like Spotify and stuff like that, you can see like where the region is, but you really don't. You know, I don't believe any of that. That they give you those numbers at the end of the year that everybody posts. It's just corny to me.
It's cool about Bandcamp too is when they introduced the ability to move physicals through there too.
That's the thing too. I sell a lot of units. Like people still buy my CDs.
Okay.
So like, and I know vinyl is like making a comeback. We did the last album on vinyl, the Lost and Found with Neff, and but people keep hitting me like, yo, when you dropping the CD link? And I'm like, damn, you got a CD player still? All right. Like, so, you know, people just want the physicals, I guess. You know what I mean?
It's collectible shit now too, man. You know what I mean? It's just collectible
I sign each one and, you know.
Yeah. Good shit.
You just keep 10 in the stash, so after they've made their run on Discogs or eBay or whatever, you can you can make your little run there. So
yeah.
All right, that's cool, man. So were there singles for the record, or did you just drop it, or I don't recall there being a single.
I put out the song Elephant Print.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Underground Hip Hop to hit me back. They're gonna release the premiere of the video for Elephant Print.
Okay.
Which is like a real weird video. We did some funny shit, some fun stuff.
Who did the video?
My man, White Boy Dope. I don't know his real name. I call him White Boy Dope. His name's Josh, but he's from Rhode Island. He has a company called Good Looks Media.
Okay.
And he's fire. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I enjoy working with him.
Okay. So that's the first single.
And then I dropped that. Then so I do this thing called Wednesday. So every Wednesday I put out a record. I did it a couple of years ago, and then dropped the project with all the records called Wednesday Volume 1. And that came from the television show too, because a lot of people would be like, because the show aired on Wednesdays, and then people started making hashtags and tagging me. And it was like, tonight's Wednesday night. You know what I mean? Because I was like the favorite to win the show or whatever. And then I took that and I was like, yo, I'm going to just keep dropping. So right now I'm doing, besides the album being out, I'm also, the first 4 joints that I released for the first 4 Wednesdays of this run were singles off the project. So each week I dropped Elephant Print first. Then the second week I dropped 33. Then I dropped the joint with Pace and L this week called All I See.
Mm-hmm.
And then next week I'll drop Talk of the Town. And then I'll go into, I got a bunch of stuff in the stash that I recorded over the last 2 years that I'm just going to keep releasing.
Nice.
And so my thing is to like just keep putting out singles every Wednesday just for this foreseeable future. I like just constantly hitting people with new shit. And then on Saturday nights, I do this thing called Saturday Night Special, where I do like a verse or, kind of like a freestyle, but not really. It's like I'll find beats that I'm like, this would be dope to rap to, but I don't think I can make a song out of it.
Gotcha.
But so, I write 24 bars, I spit them, and then I post the shit. And it goes where it goes.
All right.
Nice.
Just to keep dropping content, you know what I mean?
Sure.
People forget. It's so crazy, man. I think about like when I was growing up and shit, how many times I would run an album back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When like It's Dark and Hell is Hot came out, I fucking played it so many times, And now it's like people, even me, I do it too. I listen to an album one time, I never go back to it.
Yeah.
There's so much shit I gotta hear every week,
Yeah.
People are just constantly dropping shit. And there's so many fucking people. The game is so congested, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't really listen to many people, but I'm kind of bad in that way. I listen to like myself, and I listen to like artists from the past that I grew up listening to. I don't really check for new artists like that, unless like there's somebody I meet or I see them at a show or some shit like that.
It's impossible to keep up with, man. I mean, this is like a recurring conversation here, and obviously being a place that like plays new music,
right?
But I think what really separates a lot of folks from everyone else that I think a lot of people don't understand and that they don't take the time to do is like something can sound grimy and gutter and whatever and gritty, but it can still sound good, like sonically, like it still pops. There's still low end. It's still like that's become like a big I guess delineator or a marker for us. Like at this point, if I get a record and it sounds like shit, I don't care who it is. Like you're out. Period.
Right.
And you'd be surprised, man. I mean, like there are a lot of I know folks like that'll put music out, and I know they spent some bread on features or whatever, and they just half-ass it, and I'm just like I just can't play this. It's just gonna sound bad, you know. So. We're always concerned about,
for sure.
How stuff sounds in the mix and like things like that. Like that's a big kind of like, I feel like that separates folks a little bit. It's just what they the time and the money really, frankly, usually that they spend on the back end, getting it nice and tight and whatever. So, but I mean, it's totally overwhelming. It's been really interesting too, Ren, to see the evolution of that, and you've probably seen it as well, just from a timeline standpoint. You mentioned like Wes and Griselda, but like when we first started the show in 2015, I mean, like I wasn't like scrambling to find music, but I wasn't overwhelmed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like now it's just like you've really got to put blinders on to a point, or otherwise it's so hard to focus.
Yeah, it'll overwhelm you.
So,
no, I feel that.
Yeah. So, let's talk about, I guess, a little bit about some of these prior projects, man. You mentioned that, I mean, you had the Lost and Found project with Nep, but you said it's been 3 or 4 years since your last full length, like.
Yeah, 2016, I think it was.
Yeah. So, I mean, what?
I've been nice.
Yeah. So there was a Pete Rock joint on that as well. Is that right?
So
or no.
Yeah, but kind of.
Okay.
So the actual album doesn't have the Pete Rock version.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
The Pete Rock version. So I was doing the project with Lord Sear. So he was one day I wrote this record. I had this beat, which is the original I've Been Nice that's on the album.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and picked up Sear, and we were on our way to the studio, and he played me a beat. And he's like, yo, you got anything for this? And I'm like, nah, but I'll write something when we get to the studio. And then we got there, and he was like, yo, that beat I played you, that's Pete Rock's beat. And I was like, okay. And he was like, so you need to do something fire. And I was like, well, I recorded this fire record this week. So I ended up redoing it just to try to impress Pete Rock. And he hit us right back. And was like, yo, I love it, but you got to put it out for promotional use.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, that's cool. As long as like you'll co-sign it. And like,
sure.
He posted it a bunch of times over the years and stuff. So
yeah.
Then me and Pete ended up having a good relationship after that.
That's dope.
We've had a bunch of talks about doing a full length together.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how. So the Pete Rock record is the video, and it's also like, but on the actual album, the beat's different.
Right. Yeah, I noticed that. I think I ripped this. I think I ripped the Pete Rock joint off YouTube, and I played it on the show. Actually,
probably
because I didn't have an MP3. So yeah. So how do you know Sear, man?
We met. So you know who Mr. Len is from?
From Company Flow. Oh yeah.
All right, so Len used to come to these shows when we were kids. Like I was in a group called the Backpack Superheroes when I was younger, and there was like 12 of us, and we used to like rip shit down at this bar. They used to let us throw shows there and shit. And Len used to come there, and I didn't really know who he was. I wasn't like the biggest Cold Flow fan, but like I know who they are now more than I did then. And Len used to be like, yo, you're super dope. I like you a lot. And I was like, all right, cool. So me and him were always friendly. And people, the other guys that I was with, they were a little older. They were like, yo, he's a legend. Like, you make sure you stay on his good side. And I was like, all right. So they were supposed to have a show one night out in Jersey, and it got canceled. So everybody went to this other like spot that played hip hop. And I went in, I sit down at the bar, and there's this big dude sitting next to me, and we're talking about whatever's on the TV. And then I get up and I leave, and Len came over. And he's like, yo, so it was Sear that I was sitting next to. He comes over, he goes, oh, Sear, you know Ren? And he was like, nah, who's that? He's like, that big white dude that was sitting next to you? He's like, yo, he's the best rapper out here. And then he was like, oh, word? Give me his number. And then the next day, Sear called me, and he's like, yo, this is Lord Sear. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, we were sitting next to each other last night. Len told me to hit you up. And I'm like, all right. And then our relationship just kicked off from there. And then,
That's crazy.
That is
we started
crazy.
working on this shit. It's
dope.
Just a random person I talked to in a bar. That was it.
Yep.
Man, that's bugged out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a cool story. So that was your first full length then, right, Ren, or no?
I mean, yeah, under the name Ren Thomas.
Right, okay.
I have another full length that's only available on Bandcamp. And I literally pressed up like 1,000 copies and then just hit the road with them. But I never put it out on stream, and it's called Who the Fuck is Ren Thomas?
Right, okay.
And that was right when I changed my name. I quit battle rap. I was done with all that shit, doing grind time and all that. And I was like, I want to focus on music. And I also wanted to change my name. Like the Renegade thing was cool when I was younger and shit. But like, bro, you couldn't, the biggest thing was if you typed in Renegade, a fucking truck came up, a Lorenzo Lamas show came up, fucking Eminem and Jay-Z came up. You know what I mean? And it was like, I took the name from a wrestler, right? Because I was a big wrestling fan when I was a kid, and I loved the Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior disappeared, like he bounced or whatever, and now people like know what happened. But there was a WCW had like a knockoff, and his name was the Renegade. I was like, that's a cool name. And then I looked it up in the dictionary, and I was like, I'm gonna call myself DJ Renegade because I was a DJ first. Like when I was like 8 or 9, I used to DJ. Okay. My cousins were rappers. And they never did shit, but I was like, yo, I want to hang out with them. They were older. So I was like, yo, I'll be the DJ, right? So like I had like some Newmark bullshit, like CD drives that you could scratch on and shit. And I would hang out with them, and they were rapping, but I was like, yo, I think I could be better. You know what I mean? And I was like, my brother's like 9 years older than me. So when I was a kid, I used to steal all his cassettes, and I like fell in love with 4, 5, 6 by Cool G Rap. Actually, the Milk Crate by Milk Bone was one of the CDs I stole. Like the early Jay and Biggie shit. And what else did he have? He had the first Boot Camp Click album. Capital Punishment, the Purple Tape.
You did
like,
all right,
the
man.
shit that I stole from him.
Yeah.
So like I'm listening to all that when I'm like 8 years old, watching my cousins suck at rapping, and then I'm like, yo, I think I could do this, right? So then I started to do the freestyle shit. And everywhere we went, we would go to like house parties and shit when we were like, starting to go into high school and shit. And I would go there. They'd be like, yo, where you from? And I'd be like, oh, we're from Clark, whatever. And they'd be like, yo, y'all trash, you're corny, blah, blah, blah. We'd be like, oh, all right. And then somehow a cypher would break out, and I would just start eating cats. And they were like, yo, that white boy is crazy, right? So then that kind of, at like 15 and 16, I was going to all the colleges doing the freestyle battles over beats. And I was killing these dudes that were like 25.
Right.
And then from there, like, I met a dude named Tab, and we put out a project called the Kenny Chang Tapes, right? And we got a deal off that.
Wow.
And then we got shelled from our label. And then...
what label was it? Can you say?
It was part of Universal. It was called Vidir Music Group. It was this dude, Neville Hodge.
Okay.
And he was a producer for Heavy D.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
He lived in a mansion out in fucking Mount Vernon. I thought I was gonna fucking hang out with LL Cool J and shit. Like it ended up being all bullshit, but whatever. It was a good learning experience. We signed a shit deal. We got shelved, and then during that period, this dude DJ Absurd from Jersey, he put out a project, and it had me on a song with Pacewon, and it was the single. And they sent me to a radio show. My whole life is serendipity, by the way. So they sent me to this radio show to go promote this single because Pace wouldn't do it. So I go up there to this radio station called Real Deal Radio, right? I'm up there, do the interview with the guys. They asked me to spit some other shit. I rapped on the show, and then they were like, yo, you're super dope. We want to keep bringing you back anytime you put shit out. I was like, cool. I left. They called me up later that night, and they were like, yo, there's a battle rap league in New Jersey, and the championship match is tomorrow, and the one dude got locked up.
Oh,
and he was like, you got that style. He's like, if I tell them that you should be in the championship match, will you come do it? And I went there, and I won. And Pumpkinhead and Poison Pen were there. And they were like, yo, you should come battle in Grind Time. And I was like, holy shit, like Grind Time was the fucking coolest thing to me back then.
Right.
So then I went on a run for like 2 years. I was undefeated. And then Grind Time fell apart. And then King of the Dot became like the new Grind Time. Yeah. And it was all the way in Canada. I didn't have no money to get out there. And they were like, you can come do a tryout. And I was like, what the fuck, a tryout? Like, I've been killing dudes in New York.
Right.
And I just decided to step back. And that's around the time that I was like, yo, the Renegade name is like cool, but I don't want to run away from it totally. And my middle name was Thomas. So I was like, yo, I'm just going to call myself Ren Thomas. I kind of like the way it sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, and then that's basically how that all happened. And
damn, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. Man. I didn't know that. I can't. So I have a 5-year-old. I have a 10-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 16-year-old, almost 16-year-old. So like my closest to that.
Very fertile. He's very fertile, Ren. Very fertile.
Imagine Tommy
Yeah.
Right? Imagine Tommy sitting over there in the next room. He's up late because he didn't have school tomorrow, playing Fortnite. Imagine if you got here, Meeks, and you walked in there and he was listening to Only Built for Cuban Links.
Right.
I wouldn't even do the show that night. I would sit there and walk him through each joint. I was like, all right, Tommy, so you know why this joint right here is so crazy? Yeah, that would. But honestly, homie, I expect to see shit like that when I come here. Like I don't see your kids banging out beats on the turntables or nothing.
I mean, I try. I don't.
They just don't have no interest.
I don't force it. I don't try. The oldest, I gave him my old machine. When he got his laptop, it sat in the corner. I'm like, hey man, look. I tell all of them, I'm like, look, if you want to get into this, it's right here. But I'm not gonna push you.
Nah.
But yeah, man, that's bugged out, Ren, to be like absorbing that at 8 years old, man. That's crazy. Yeah. And actually, it makes all the sense in the world now. Yeah. You know, it
was so weird because I was like, I grew up in like a suburban, basically white community, and then like I'm listening to all these records and I'm relating to like a dude in California. You know what I mean? And it made me. For some reason, I just fell in love with this shit. It was crazy. And then, my cousin started rapping and I was like, these dudes suck. You know what I mean? And then like, I was like, all right, let me try this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I wrote my first, wrote and recorded my first song to Live My Lifestyle by Fat Joe. It was a maxi single. So it had the beat and I recorded a record. I was 8 years old.
Wow.
And then, I put out my first like mixtape when I was in like 8th grade. I was like selling them in the school. But like, all these, that's what I was saying before, all the older kids that were like in high school and shit, I would be like, I'm like in 8th grade or whatever. I'm trying to like get $5 for a mixtape. These dudes are like slapping them out of my hand and shit. Yeah. And I'm like mad. I'm like trying to get my cousins now to come fight for me. And they're like, yo, you told us we suck at rapping. We're not fighting for you. So,
in your 8th grade, you little fucker. Like,
But it's crazy to see, 10 years later, these dudes are showing up at shows like fucking fans and shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dope. That's fucking dope, man. That's a dope story. That's ill.
Yeah.
Well, Ren, my last one for you for the night is just going back to before your career got on that crazy trajectory, from being on VH1 and Sway in the Morning and Team Backpack and all that. Do you still have those connections and those contacts intact? Is this a situation where, once the pandemic eases up, whenever the fuck that is, that you could tap back into those connections and get back out there and make some things happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be easy for me to go back on Sway. I've never burned a bridge with nobody. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who don't like me or
except that bodyguard at Magic City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that guy was an asshole.
Yeah.
So,
and I promise he gonna be all right. Yeah, fuck him.
As far as like, I have a lot of connections to a lot of different people. One of the things that I guess was a hindrance to me is I don't like to ask nobody for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'll have somebody's phone number and like they'll tell me to hit them and I won't because I feel like it's like me like asking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I won't text Pete Rock and be like, yo, you should send me a beat. Like the conversation it usually ends up somebody reposts something of mine. And then I'm like, thank you. And then they're like, yeah, no doubt, you're super dope. And I'll be like, bet, we should work sometime. And then they're like, all right, come through. Like that's how shit worked with like Eric Sermon. And because I got records with Eric Sermon, I got records with Rockwilder, I got Static Records, but it was always like, I don't want to work with nobody, especially if I don't really know them.
Right.
Like on the stuff that I want to create. You know what I mean? Like not the feature stuff. And like I said, like I'm not really doing that no more. Like I raised the price super high. So like if people want that, then they're gonna have to pay for it. And like I said, I'm gonna have to like check out who they are, and I'm gonna have to like the material. But as far as the connections, I like when things happen organically.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's probably been 5 years since we shot that show on VH1. So like, nah, I'm not gonna like reach out to Rick Ross. I got his number, but like he probably doesn't have the same phone. So he's gonna be like, who the fuck is this? He probably wouldn't answer.
Right.
So it's like Lenny S told me to keep sending him music. See, the whole shit with the show was I ended up getting screwed. You know what I mean? Like they wanted me on the show because I was a battle rapper who could body everybody. And when they didn't like somebody, they used me to get the person kicked off the show by making them battle me. They never checked out my music. They didn't give a fuck about my music. And when DJ Khaled said that I was the best one, and DJ Drama said I was the best one, and fucking DJ Mustard said he was going to give me some beats and shit, like, they didn't care. They were looking for fucking, you know, the next fucking Lil Uzi Vert or whatever, which is cool, man. Everybody's got their lane, but ain't nobody going to play me. That's why I went public with what happened.
Right.
I was like, yo, fuck that. Like, they tried to play me on the show and made it look like I forgot words when they cut music off. Like, I stopped rapping because they cut the beat.
Right.
Right.
Damn.
So there was two performances, right? The real performance, which I bodied. And then there was a dress rehearsal where during the dress rehearsal, I'm in the same clothes. So it looks like the same scene. I'm rapping and Russ's fucking DJ set his laptop unplugged, which doesn't make any sense because there's a fucking battery on a laptop.
Exactly.
Right? The music is turned off and I look up at the DJ booth. This isn't the real performance. And I go, yo, what the fuck? Right. And they used that on the show to say why they wouldn't sign me, but they didn't want to sign me because they weren't interested in the music.
That's crazy.
I was just,
Damn.
yo, if people looked at it on VH1.com, right? VH1.com, they had a poll, who should win? And I was 10,000 votes ahead of the person in second place.
Damn. That's crazy. Who won it? I don't even know. Who won it?
Nobody. And everybody got deals and nobody did anything. I'm the only one who left that show and became successful.
No shit.
That's crazy.
Damn,
I mean,
man.
I shouldn't say that. The one girl ended up on Love and Hip Hop. And my man Tay Walker, he is fire. And there's another dude named Marcellus Javon who's fire. Like, they're real good. I don't know what they're doing. The one lives in LA and works with like the internet.
Okay.
He was like down with Mac Miller and shit. He like played piano and some of the shit.
Okay,
like, he's fire. And so there was people on the show, and I hope they're successful. I just don't see them. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't really run in the same circles. So.
Right. Yeah. That's ill. So all that said, Ren, like what's your outlook on things right now? I mean, without laying out like the master plan, and maybe you don't have it all figured out yet, but like it feels like 33's, you know, a little bit of kind of like a maybe a reintroduction, not a reintroduction, but I guess it could be from like a full length standpoint. But like, where do you see things like looking forward after this record's out?
I don't know, because I'm not gonna make music anymore for other people. I decided that over the past, you know, pandemic and all that shit. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to put stuff out, and like, especially like doing stuff that sounded like, you know, like the Griselda sound and all that kind of shit. Like, yo, I'm just making music, trying to like get people to like comment and like, you know what I mean? Instead of like this felt like a release. I put this out and I was like, yes, like this is for the world now. Right. And that's what I want to do. I want to make music for me to get things off that I want to say some fly shit, and to create a body of work that people can listen to, and maybe, hopefully, not just listen to one time and go back and find the depth within what I'm saying. Like, if J-Rock didn't drop an album called Redemption, that's what this would have been called. You know what I'm saying? Because like, this is how I feel. I say it on the project. I'm like, this is redemption. For the last 3 years, I wasn't mentioned because I refused to troll for validation and attention, right? Because I'm not trying to be one of these dudes. Like, I just want to put out cool shit,
right?
And whether people like it or not, if I think it's cool, I'm gonna drop it. So like, whatever happens from here, that's up to whoever. You know what I mean? Whatever everybody believes in. I don't really know what I believe in all the time. So, you know, whether you want to call it God or fucking Jesus or whatever, you know what I mean? So like, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. The plan is laid out, and, you know, I'm just going to keep creating. I'm going to do what I do best, which is rap. So I'm going to do that. And hopefully, you know, you never know what's going to happen. I never thought that my career would have got to where it was. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't plan to sit down next to Sear in a bar. I didn't, you know, plan to run into Pumpkinhead and Poison Pen at a battle rap show because of some fucking song I did with some DJ who we met in a bar. You know what I mean? Like, it's all serendipity. It all happens by accident. So all I can do is play my position. And my position is to be a rapper. You know what I mean? Speak on what I feel and my feelings. And that's it.
No doubt.
It's got to be a relief, man. To a degree, you know?
Doesn't feel like there's that much pressure because, like, I'm not chasing a single. I'm not doing none of that shit. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to fucking hang out with a bunch of people I don't like no more. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. I hung out with dudes like that are in the industry, and I fucking hate their guts, but I gotta fucking play cool next to them.
I love this dude, man. I love this dude, man.
Yeah,
we the realest shit right now.
Yeah,
we the realest shit right now.
I think we would get along famously, Ren.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully one day we'll be able to get together in you know, Atlanta or up top or something like that, man. But
100%.
Yeah,
no doubt.
It's been a real pleasure, man. We really appreciate your time tonight,
likewise.
Dude. Tell everybody where they can go get the record, where they can support. And yeah, man, we'll let you get on you know, about your night. We're gonna get into some of these joints off the record too. So
awesome. Yeah, you can get the albums exclusively on Bandcamp right now. Just go to Bandcamp, type in Ren Thomas. There's only 2 projects on there. It's called 33. Entirely produced by NEM NIEVES. And I think people are really gonna like it. So far, everybody that's been hitting me about it is like, I think this is your best work. So
that's good.
You know, that's what my goal is. My goal is to, every time I put something out, that is better than what I put out last time. You know what I mean? So
awesome.
I tell you what, Ren, I was really glad to hear you kind of speak on like not getting pigeonholed into that, like, you know, down tempo or lower tempo stuff and that sound, because you know, we make a really conscious decision of not just being there as well, because it's really easy to be in that lane and like you know, it is, you know, quote unquote, you know, popular now or whatever you want to call it. But we try our best to have a varied sound here on the show, man. And it was really nice to hear, you know, what you did, like not only like, you know, beat selection wise, but content and topic wise, man. Like it's it's a great record, man. So
no doubt.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you went out, you know, and did what you thought was, you know, the thing that you needed to do, and that's what we got. So we appreciate that.
I appreciate it, guys.
No doubt.
Ren, keep it pushing,
all right,
man.
Ren
Good
Thomas.
to talk to you tonight, man.
Yeah, 33 out now. Thank you, boss.
Peace. All right.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right, Meeks.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
That was a great one.
That was a great one, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. I mean,
damn. I had no idea.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't get to look at the prep topics till I got here because that's the kind of day I had.
Well, you were trying to relax.
I was trying to. Yeah, I tried my damnedest. Can't say that I was successful, but nonetheless,
you
know what I mean. Great one, and
you're gonna like these records too.
Nah,
man.
I'm looking.
I know you are.
To it,
yeah,
man. You know what I'm saying? It's like you see this cat, and then you get to know his story, and it makes you want to hear the music
for sure.
So
yeah, this is why we love doing the interview session so much, man.
Let that be a motivator to whoever's listening to this interview. Like you should be able to feel this guy, just from what he's saying and how he's talking to us and everything.
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
So,
yeah.
It's
funny, man. It goes back. I had a little conversation with Oxygen, Big Ox, last week, because you know we played a joint off his age appropriate remix project. If you guys haven't heard it, make sure you go check it out. Remixes from Precise and Applejack, dope shit. But anyway, Ox hit me. He was like, "Look, man," he's like, "I really appreciate you like finding a place for me in the show last week." He's like, you know, the type of music that I make now is not like, it's not the sound or not, you know, I kind of know what's going on, and like there aren't many folks making music like me. The reality is there is.
Yeah, that's a gang.
There's a lot, but you know, if what Ox is saying is just, he's like, you know, look, I just try to make music from the heart, and that's the catch. And that's basically what Ren was saying, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
at least for us, that's the catch.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
1000%.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I think it's safe to say that we can tell when dudes are presenting their music
100%.
that way. Yeah. So it goes a long way, man. And we appreciate anybody that still approaches the music that way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, homie.
We'll see 302. Go back and 303. I'm sorry. Go back and check 303. You're gonna get into these Ren Thomas joints.
Yeah.
Make sure you go to Bandcamp and you buy this motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
Even if you hear this after it's streaming, go back and buy that joint.
Yeah.
All right. It's the least you can do.
Absolutely.
And it's the guard, y'all. Doe and Meeks. Smithsonian grade. We out.
Know it.
Peace.
Out.